Here are 50 essential terms related to war and conflict, categorized for clarity. Strategy and operations. 1. Asymmetric warfare. Conflict between belligerents whose relative military power differs significantly, e.g., conventional army versus insurgency. 2. Attrition. A strategy of wearing down the enemy to the point of collapse through continuous losses in personnel and material. 3. Command and control. C2. The exercise of authority and direction by a designated commander over assigned forces. 4. Doctrine. The fundamental principles by which military forces guide their actions in support of objectives. 5. Engagement. A military encounter where forces are in contact or exchanging fire. 6. Logistics. The detailed organization and implementation of a complex operation involving people, facilities, and supplies. 7. Maneuver. The employment of forces on the battlefield through movement to achieve a position of advantage. 8. Mobilization. The act of assembling and readying troops and supplies for active service. 9. ROE. Rules of engagement. Directives issued by military authority, which delineate the circumstances and limitations under which forces will initiate or continue combat. 10. Theater of operations. The area in which military operations occur during a specific campaign. Combat and tactics. 11. Ambush. A surprise attack by people lying in wait in a concealed position. 12. Ballistics. The science of projectiles and firearms in flight. 13. Blitzkrieg. A method of offensive warfare designed to strike a swift, focused blow at an enemy using mobile, maneuverable forces. 14. Counterinsurgency. Coin. Military, paramilitary, political and economic actions taken by a government to defeat an insurgency. 15. Cover. Protection from enemy fire, e.g., behind a wall or trench. 16. Defilade. Protection from enemy observation and fire, provided by an obstacle or terrain. 17. Flanking. A maneuver against an enemy's side to strike their weaker points. 18. Guerrilla warfare. Irregular warfare, in which small groups of combatants use mobile tactics like ambushes and sabotage. 19. Indirect fire. Aiming and firing a projectile without relying on a direct line of sight, e.g., artillery or mortars. 20. Insurgency. An active revolt or uprising against a constituted government. 21. No man's land. The disputed territory that has not been occupied by either side, usually due to fear or uncertainty. 22. Ordnance. Military supplies, including weapons, ammunition, combat vehicles, and maintenance tools. 23. Siege. A military blockade of a city or fortress, with the intent of conquering it by attrition or assault. 24. Surveillance. The systematic observation of aerospace, surface, or subsurface areas by visual, electronic, or other means. 25. Tactical. Relating to the immediate small-scale application of forces to win an engagement. Technology and hardware. 26. AWACS. Airborne Warning and Control System. An integrated command and control battle management platform used for surveillance. 27. Ballistic missile. A missile with a high arcing trajectory that is guided during its initial phase but falls freely upon its target. 28. Drone, UAV. An unmanned aerial vehicle capable of autonomous flight or remote control for surveillance or strikes. 29. Electronic warfare. Military action involving the use of electromagnetic and directed energy to control the electromagnetic spectrum. 30. IED, improvised explosive device. A homemade bomb constructed and deployed in ways other than conventional military action. 31. Interceptor, a weapon system designed to destroy enemy missiles or aircraft. 32. Payload, the destructive capacity of a weapon or the cargo carried by a vehicle. 33. Radar, a system for detecting the presence, direction, distance and speed of aircraft, ships and other objects. 34. Stealth technology, techniques used to make personnel, aircraft, ships or missiles less visible to radar, infrared or other detection methods. 35. Tactical nuke, a small-scale nuclear weapon designed for use on a battlefield in military situations. Logistics and intel. 36. Allies, nations that have joined in a common cause or agreement to support one another militarily. 37. Clandestine operation, an operation sponsored or conducted by governmental agencies in a way that assures secrecy or concealment. 38. Espionage, the practice of spying or using spies to obtain political or military information. 39. Front line, the most forward position of an army in contact with the enemy. 40. Intelligence, the product resulting from the collection, processing, and analysis of information regarding the enemy. 41. Pincer movement, a military maneuver where forces simultaneously attack both flanks of an enemy formation. 42. Rearguard, a detachment of troops assigned to protect the rear of a moving column. 43. Reconnaissance, a mission to obtain information about the activities and resources of an enemy. 44. Supply chain, the sequence of processes involved in the production and distribution of military resources. Law and diplomacy. 45. Armistice, a formal agreement of warring parties to stop fighting. 46. Ceasefire, a temporary suspension of fighting. 47. Combatant, a person or nation engaged in fighting during a war. 48. Geneva Conventions, a series of international treaties that establish the standards of international law for humanitarian treatment in war. 49. Neutrality, the legal status of a state that does not participate in a war between other states. 50. War crime, a violation of the laws or customs of war for which individuals can be held criminally responsible.